Kaiju fans. Today we have a special box day, and this one is the X Plus 2019 Burning Godzilla. Now this is the third 25 centimeter that X Plus made. The first two being the standard, the other one being the Ric with the light up with the blue dorsal plates, and now we have the Burning Godzilla. Now I've seen some pictures of this guy already, and some look good, while some may not be quite as good. But I think it's also because of the flash and the lighting, and also some folks maybe were a little picky, but just like the gigantic Burning Godzilla that I saw, I thought it looked good, and people were saying it was good, not good, and I did my review on it, and when I took it out of the box, I was actually really happy. The yellow dorsal plates, I think if it's as far as accuracy goes, maybe not perfect, but I think for it to stand out in the sea of grays, it looks great. And I think once again, lighting plays a part of it. And all right, let's go ahead and get to it, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, I'm gonna try to save some time on this particular review, so I'm gonna skip the total unboxing of this guy, but I just want to give you the quick look of the artwork, and then I'm gonna just open it right up. Okay, first impressions. I think it looks fine, guys. Seems to have a little bit of shine, but I do have some lights in here that could be reflecting, or it's reflecting off that light. So okay, let's take this guy out to a little bit brighter room. You know what, guys? For the first time in quite some time, I actually smell fresh vinyl. Wow. Have you guys ever smelled fresh vinyl? Okay, I took him out of that room that had the artificial lighting. Now it's just lighting from outside. And as you can see, there is less of that sheen or that shininess. So it really does depend on the lighting. Okay, so next step is I'm going to get this guy out of this packaging, and we can get a better idea how he actually looks. Okay, so here is a shot of him in just a natural lighting from outside, and as you can see, he is not really that shiny. And the dorsal plates, you can see they actually look more orange. And I can compare already that this guy's dorsal plates are not as yellow as the Gigantic's was. And as a little side note, this guy's tail was the easiest out of all the figures I've done in a while. It was so quick, and it looks like the fit is pretty good too. So once again, this is just in natural lighting. I did not turn on my LED lighting yet, but I will so you guys can compare. And as you can see here, there is a lot of color variation, and it looks really nice. If you look at it through some lighting, it almost has like a iridescent type of reflection. So far, I'm liking this guy. Now, could this guy be maybe a little bit darker? I suppose so. But depending on which scene that we're watching him, light up, there's some parts that he actually looks really light, and probably some part that he looks dark. So this is kind of like a midway point. I think it's decent. So here's a different angle. I mean, the other side, and you can see all the detail, the incredible amount of detail that they put into this guy. So I apologize about my lighting if it doesn't really bring out the best aspects of this figure, but I do want to give you the look of him without any artificial lighting first. So coming up next, I am going to show you how he looks with some additional lighting. Alright guys, so here he is with some supplemental lighting. I got an LED strip above him. And as you can see, the colors still look quite good. Sorry about the cropping, I just don't have enough area here to properly display them. But at least you guys can get a pretty good idea. Man, he looks good to me. I can only imagine how this guy would look if you guys put some LEDs inside. Now I looked where the tail attaches and there is something blocking, so you would have to drill through a bulkhead or some area to access the rest of the body. But okay guys, I am pretty pleased with him. Okay, I figure I better give you guys a more closer shot of his body. So hopefully you guys can make out the details and coloration on this guy. I mean, so far I think it looks really nice. Okay, so for comparison number one, I have the 30cm 95 Burning Godzilla. And as you can tell here, they're pretty radically different. The translucency in the new Burning Godzilla, you can really see it, while the 95, it's more subtle. And actually, the gray is a little bit drab in comparison. So here's another angle. You guys can get a little bit better idea as far as the color goes. Obviously, the 30cm is taller. And one more shot here. Okay, and here's another 30cm 95 Godzilla, and this is a different version. This is a solid orange. It's got a little bit of color variation on the dorsal plates at the ends and at the feet and the hands. And I think there's a little bit of translucency also at those ends, but the overall body is pretty solid in color. That guy almost looks like a toy. But even though the 95 looks a little bit too bright in color, it definitely stands out on my shelf. Yes, it's kind of hard to notice, but at the edge of the dorsal plates, there's a little bit of more like a pinkish color. You can barely notice it. And it's also on the end of his hands. You can see a little bit better on his hands there. And I think also at the feet, at the ends. And I believe the inside of his body is like a yellowish, so it actually does come out through the body. If you look at it, you can see a little bit of yellowish on the inside, so it's like he's radiating. So you can kind of see it right there on his arm. You can see some of that coloration coming through, and just a touch on his chest. You can also see on his other hand, there's a little bit of that yellow shining through, radiating through. Okay, here's another quick comparison. And let's move on to the next guy. All right, so for our final comparison, I brought out the 30cm 95 Sakai. And man, that figure is gorgeous. I gotta tell you. And as you can see, the burning parts of the bodies are very different. But man, both these guys look really good. So as far as scaling between the two, the 2019 is only just a little bit shorter. So they're actually just about scale. So even the diameter of the bodies are pretty decent compared to each other. Okay, and for this shot here, I do have some lighting coming from both sides, so you can see a little bit of the reflection on his forearms. You can see the shine, and I'm going to turn off the light so you can see it. So without the light, you can see, you know, a lot of the shine just disappears. So I think it really depends on the lighting. So finally, that one, I just have the lighting a little bit further away. So yeah, so you know, you can probably have a lot of variety of lighting and stuff to give it a different look. You can probably make him look even darker. All right, so my final thoughts on this magnificent X Plus 2019 Burning Godzilla is that I think they did a good job. Now I'm going to say, is it perfect? No, but is anything perfect? But as far as my satisfaction, I think I am satisfied. I'm not going to nitpick on the dorsal plates being too bright. They actually, to me, they're like they're still kind of orangey color with, you know, with a lot of yellow, but it's not as bright as before, as in the gigantic. So I think they did a little better job there. And as far as detailing, color, and all that, I think it's great. You know, they have some scratches on his forehead, so looks like he got that from battle. So, you know, they didn't miss too many little things on this guy. And fortunately for me, I'm just not quite as picky as everybody else. So I guess that's good and bad, but I'll just take it as that I'm satisfied. So my grade on this guy is, I'm going to give him a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. So that's still, to me, that's still an A. So, all right, guys. That's my quick review. Hope you like it, and stay tuned for the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.